Jungkook nodded urgently and scrambled back onto the bed, gratefully to be back on his rightful place. As he settled down the cover, he stole a glance at Taeyong, noticing how his eyes were softened as he looked at him. It seems that their little punishment had, in a way, brought them closer to together. "I'm sorry," he said sincerely. His voice was filled with regret. "I promise I'll make it up to you." The young sign, a mixture of frustration and affection, were invited in his eyes. "You better," he replied, his tone teasing but warm. "You have a lot of making up to do." Jungkook nodded, and feeling that determination to make things right between them, he knew that he had to make a mistake, but he was willing to do whatever it took to regain their trust. Jungkook didn't know he was completely dependent on Taeyong until today. Like, now he was getting late for office, but he can't even find his socks, files, cuffed and ties, searching for that in a messy room. Jungkook realized just how much he relied on Taeyong's organized skills. They effortlessly ensured everything he needed was readily available, allowing him to focus on his work without any worry. Feeling a pang of regret for taking that effort to grant it, Jungkook hurriedly called Taeyong, hoping they could help him, but negative to the car. Taeyong was his patience, calmly guiding him through his disorganized belongings. As he rambled through that drawers and that shuffled through papers, Jungkook couldn't help but reflect on that countless time Taeyong had served him from their similar situation. He reminded the morning when they lied on their cloth, preparing his files, and ensure his favorite tie was neatly hanged. Realization that magnitude of his dependence on Taeyong's help support. Jungkook was overwhelmed with that gratitude. He was almost admiring his efficiency, but through the he had a newfound appreciation for him. Eventually, with Taeyong's guidance, Jungkook managed to locate all that necessary items in the state, hesitantly dressing himself, he knew that he had to make it up for Taeyong for underestimating his contribution. Arriving to the office much late than usual, Jungkook felt and out of his short, unable to concentrate on his work. He pounded the way to show Taeyong his apology. By the workday finally ended, Jungkook urged waiting for Taeyong to bring his lunch, like he always does. Someone knocked on the door of the cabin. He smiled, knowing who it was. He corrected himself as the hair, cleaning his thought before sleeping. "Come in." As he handled moving that preparation himself to meet his wife, a charming smile would appear on his face, but soon it dropped. His face was harder in a slip of time. "Why are you here?" he asked. His deep words were shivering the hell out of the driver. "Sir, the young sir asked me to bring your lunch." Jungkook sighed heavily, his disappointment were invited in his tone. "Please leave it on that table," he replied contrarily, but toward the table. The driver nervously placed that lunchbox down and quickly exited from the cabin, leaving Jungkook alone with his thought. As he started and the lunchbox, Jungkook could not help but feel a pang of sadness. He had hoped to see Taeyong's face, to apologize in person, and express his appreciation for all he did. But instant he was facing him, the realization that his act had hurt him. Regret would wash over him as he realized how much he had taken Taeyong for that granted, assuming him would always that the credit they need even after he hurt him with his action. Opening the lunchbox, Jungkook found a note, but tucked inside, it's straight. "I'm upset with you, but I still care about you. Eat your lunch." Taeyong. The simple word touched his heart. "Do you need help?" "Do you need help?" Jungkook asked, and sitting beside the table, in front of Jungkook, who was just staring at him. "No," he said, and making Yoongi roll his eyes at him. "Come on, I know you're messed up pretty much." Giving a slight smirk, he leaned forward, placing his hand on the desk. "Okay then, help me. I don't know what to do or not. My mind was not functioning correctly. Every time Taeyong is on my mind. I can't think properly. He slashed out all front of Yoongi, who was just shook his head at Jungkook. It's so simple. Think from your heart. Yoongi replied calmly, folding his arm across his chest. You obviously have feelings for Taeyoung, and that affecting your ability for focus. Instead of overthinking and overanalyzing everything, just go with that what your heart is telling you. Life is too short to be wasted on indecision. Jungkook leaned back in the chair and let out a heavy sigh. Yes, we got married for the sake of our companies. It was a business decision that seems like the best solution at the time. But now if I let my feelings for them grow deeper, her father might be see it as a and try to use it against me. Why? Why do you think his father will use you? About his own son? Yoongi asked, something going on his mind, like he connected the dots. He literally married him to me. That too, forcefully. Taeyoung never wanted to marry me. Jungkook had it, was pounding. He realized that feeling for him. He liked him a lot. His father wedded him to you because he knew his company is going to bankrupt and he won't be able to take care of his son. And you, Jungkook, you're his best rival, but also the most bachelor. I think you took it all wrong, Yoongi said, rubbing his chin, as it was successful in joining all the dots. Jungkook found, not understanding what Yoongi was trying to say. What do you mean? Yoongi sighed. I think he surrendered. He wanted you to marry Tae, and in return, he will marry his company with honors. That means he wanted Tae to have a good future ahead with you, and his company also got saved from going bankrupt because of you. He played a nice game indeed. Yoongi's eyes were widened as he processed for Yoongi's words. You mean Taeyoung's father arranged our marriage to save his company, and he actually wanted us to be together? Yoongi nodded, acknowledged the smile on his face. Yet, it seems that way. He saw that opportunity in you, Jungkook, by marrying Tae to him. He's only sure his financial state. Jungkook's mind was really with that new revelation. He had always thought that a marriage was just a cold business arrangement for any emotion of love. But now everything seems to make sense. The way Taeyoung's father has paused for their union, the way Taeyoung had seemed hesitant and distant. So, you're saying that they might have feelings for me too? Jungkook asked and hoped that in his eyes. Yoongi shrugged. It's possible. Taeyoung might have agreed to the marriage for the sake of his father, but that doesn't mean that he can't develop feeling for you. You need to talk to him, Jungkook. Have an open, honest conversation about your feeling and see how they respond. They nodded, determination shining in his eyes. You're right, Yoongi. I can't let fear and that indecision hold my back anymore. I need to follow my heart and take a chance. Thank you for helping me to see the truth.